Hello everyone, how you guys doing?
Welcome back to our
¿Cómo están?
channel.
¿Cómo están? I hope everybody's doing great, doing fine, healthy, happy. So how you guys can see, we're in a hospital. Yeah.
So we've been here for about a day, right?
Well, we haven't been here. Emma been here, and we have been coming in and out. Like most of us is the only. It's only one person can stay with her for the night. But before she was transferred here, um, it was like one person at all. Like this is our first night together in the room. So you want to start the story, or you
Yeah.
want me to start the story?
I can start.
Go.
So basically, on Friday, Friday
Friday.
after 12. So Thursday after 12 a.m. is already Friday. So around like 12, I went to sleep, and then Jane stayed up with Emma. So like around 2, right?
And you gotta do the story complete. You went to sleep. You felt like you were tired.
Oh yeah.
You've been coughing.
I've been coughing, and then I had like my throat didn't hurt. It just felt like a little raspy for like 2 days, I want to say. So then from there, I was like, okay. But I didn't really think much of it because I had gotten the flu shot the week before.
Another booster of COVID.
Not the booster of COVID. So I told Jane, I was like, oh, I'm feeling tired. I'm going to go to sleep. So I went to sleep. And then around 2 a.m., Gene wakes me up and he's like, oh, do you have, like, where's the thermometer of the baby? And I didn't even think nothing of it because I was such in a deep sleep. So he went.
So before that, baby, you have to tell them that the baby, I will do the beginning and then you can complete all.
Just start again.
So, no starting yet. I'm just saying, I'm picking it back from you. So she went to sleep like around 12. I thought, I will wake up. So we usually take some turns when we wake up to take care of Emma. So I was waking up and Emma was making the sounds of
like
she was suffering, or like she was feeling something that it was not normal.
And something's bothering her.
So that happens like from 12 to like 1:30, around 2. I already asked Victoria. Let's play. Alright, so what I was saying, babe?
That around like 1:32, she kept doing that noise.
Yeah, she was doing that noise, and Victoria was like tired. She was sleeping. Then I was like, oh my god, like what is going on? I took my finger and I put it in her mouth. Like I washed my hands, everything. Like I was doing all the type of exams. I was like, what's going on? Any rash, anything? So when that happened, when that was happening, I was worried and I was trying to find like why she's crying like that. Like she's not even 2 months. Like
yeah.
And Victoria had been told me like, oh, I feel like raspy, whatever. But we never suspect nothing because like we have COVID before, and we were feeling tired. Like she was not tired at all. She was working out. Like Victoria with COVID is like she's done. Like I'm not doing nothing. So
I was still working out.
Yeah, we even thought like okay, like she just have a flu or whatever. Like so this Friday, like night, everything started when I tell Victoria, oh, what's the thermometer? I look for a thermometer. It's in the room. It's in the bag that we take outside, and then I get it, take the temperature, and it's like 98 something. I'm like, what am I? Like that's normal, like 98.9. I'm like, what am I? Still going up, 99. I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, what? What's going on? 99. Then I'm like, okay, let me test it again. 100. So when we were in the hospital when she was born, they told us, if it's 100.4, you take the baby to the hospital. They even said it in the primary care provider and the pediatrician. They said if that happened, you take it to the hospital. When I saw that thing, guys, like I was like, I'm out. Like I'm going to the hospital. So I told Victoria.
Yeah. So then he told me, he's like,
Emma has a fever.
She has a fever. I was like, for real? Literally, I've never gotten up from a bed so fast. So I got up, whatever, and then Gene was like, oh, we have to go to the hospital. Okay. So I start getting ready, and then we head to the nearest hospital that's by us. But for some reason, like I told Gene when we got there, I was like, I don't think, like, there's a children's emergency room here.
So that was like St. Joseph, like in Yonkers. Yeah,
and then Gene was like, this is the emergency room. Like, it has to be this one.
No, I said, this is the emergency room. They should have like a pediatrician, like they should have all the doctors. So they said
that's why when you have an ER in the hospital, that's why when you have an ER in the hospital, there's always a children's ER and a regular ER. So I didn't see that it said children's ER. So I'm like, there is no
always. It's just
the majority.
Here in New York City, like we live in Yonkers, that's like pretty close from New York City. They don't have like those bunch of doctors ready to be called. So there they are affiliated with like Westchester Medical Center or stuff like that. So we were like, I don't want to go to Westchester.
So the point is that we go to this hospital and we get checked in and everything. And when we get there to the ER section, there's only adults there. So, they told us, they were like, oh, what brings you here? And I told the doctor. And from the jump, I didn't like this doctor's, like, I don't know, his vibe. I don't know what. I wasn't feeling it. So I told him, oh, my husband checked her temperature and she was 100.4. And then he's like, what made you check her temperature? And then I was like, because he felt that she was warm, so we wanted to check. And then he's like, well, how much was it? And I'm like, I just told you 100.4.
He was talking like, let me go, oh my God. So, he was talking like he was in a movie or he was reading what he was saying to us.
He was just really annoying.
And then they didn't let us go in both of us.
So basically,
I don't know what she's crying though.
You have to sacárselo. You've just been holding her there.
No, but I was here.
No, mi amor. Yo le estaba dando. Anyways, so we both couldn't go to the ER. And then when we got there, the doctor's asking me all these questions. The point is that they didn't have any equipment for babies. They only had equipment for adults. So they could check the temperature of the baby. And they used a thermometer, not for babies, but for adults on her. So they checked her rectal area. And because we took her to the hospital and we wrapped her up in so many things, her fever actually went up to 101.6. So then now that doctor, he was like, oh, now I'm super concerned because, she's only 7 weeks and she hasn't gotten her vaccines yet. So he was doing like this big thing, which I understand. But all this is happening and he's still not telling us that there's no section there for babies. Mm-hmm. So then from there, they were like, oh, we need to wait at least half an hour to check her temperature again, maybe because she was wrapped up, it went high. So they checked it again and went back down to 100.8. Mm-hmm. Now, when it got to 100.8, that's when they told me. He came to me, he's like, oh, we don't have a section here for babies. There's no pediatric center here. But if you want, there's the Westchester in White Plains Hospital that does have children, pediatrics. Mm-hmm. So I can schedule a transfer for you.
Westchester Medical Center, no White Plains Hospital.
The lady said it was by White Plains. I don't know.
They didn't even know what they were saying.
Exactly.
So they were like, oh, it's by Westchester. I'm like, we in Westchester, bro. Like, so what are you talking about, Willis?
Then that's when he was like, I can schedule a transfer to get you there, but it's going to take a couple of hours. Or you can take because I was just like, we have a car, like, we could just drive there. And then he was like,
we thought that was going to make everything faster and easy.
And then he's like, if you guys decide to go on your own, I have to document that we had a conversation and that you said that it was okay for you to leave.
Like, if you're a doctor, what are you telling me that you need to document something? Like, if you're a doctor,
you just document it.
Yeah, like, why are you wasting my time telling me that you need to document? In the meantime, everything that he was telling Victoria, I was outside. Then Victoria told him,
can I call my husband to come inside?
So we can discuss this?
And he was like, oh, yeah, sure, of course. But
at this point, we didn't even know we were at my house. So...
So then he explained the same thing to Jean, and then we were like, you know what, like at this point we're just wasting time, like we're gonna take the baby, but obviously you need to wait for the discharge. So instead of him writing everything and giving it to us, like he got a little like annoyed with us, and he was like, fine, whatever you young people want to do, because he was older. So he goes, and instead
of say, whatever you old people want, okay.
Instead of him writing the discharge right away, he calls this hospital where we're at now, because this was closer than the Westchester one, Westchester Medical Center, whatever. So then we end up coming here. He's like, oh, I spoke to them and they said that, the baby's gonna have to be there for 48 hours or blah 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 blah, that there's a chance because she's gonna have to get observed. So whatever, we come here to this hospital, so we chose to come to Montefiore Children's Hospital. The Children's Hospital at Montefiore. Mm-hmm. So we came here, and then Jean takes it from there because he was with her first.
All right, so we arrived here. I brought like a kid here, a child here, and the experience was like super long. So I was already mentally being ready to be like preparing myself, like I want to be here until like 2 p.m. Mind you, guys, this was like 3 a.m. No sleep. Myself, Victoria have like 2 hours sleep, and I wasn't even hungry. This is the funny part of it.
Well, you have a kid, you don't even think about that.
So I'm already mentally going. You already know. No sleep, tired. I got the birth certificate. We got the birth certificate like what?
Like 2 days ago.
2-3 days ago. We were lucky. At least we have the document. We show it to them. They put the right number, the right name, everything. I checked in.
And then sorry to put you out, baby. But in the ER, we both couldn't go in. So Jean decided to go in because I went in for the first
one. And then Victoria was, feeling bad, feeling sick or whatever. Like, stay here. Then you come in later when we have a room. Because I know if she would have went inside first, she would have been like mad and a lot of non-patient attitude. Like when you have a non-patient attitude, you angry and you don't think stuff straight.
Yeah.
So in this circumstances, you have to stay calm and just go with the flow and pray to God if you believe in God. So I go in, guys. The lady, so cute. Oh, I'm proud that Daddy came by himself. Like if it's an option, that if it's an option, mom and dad can come in. But whatever, I go in. The lady take the baby. They weigh her, whatever. She go into the computer, check a room is empty. Empty. She go into every room that in the computer says it's empty. Somebody's there, and she like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Until we get to this space that is like in an open space with a different like cordon like closing it, like those cordon that we have here in the hospital. It's like 8 people. I call Victoria and show them. I'm like, look at this. People snoring like kids.
It was like a madhouse.
Like kids have like tube in their mouth and they couldn't breathe. Like it was so much going on that I was like, nah, this is crazy. Hopefully I get out of here soon. And plus, Emma doesn't have any vaccine yet. The doctor that took care of us first, he came in, he was like, oh, because everything that we already explained. She's gonna be here to examine her for 48 hours. They explained all of this so fast that I was like, yeah. I don't want her to stay. This is optional or mandatory.
But didn't they do the swab first before they said
Yeah, so they did the swab. So when I got to that little space that I couldn't even walk to the chair, like they said, oh, we need to do a urine test. We have to do blood work, and we have to potentially put an IV entrance, which is different from taking blood, because blood, I guess you don't have to put it all the way in, and it can be a little loose. And because she's a baby, they don't subtract it like with the machine. They have to drop by drop, and with a little needle, doing a reverse. So all of that, I went through it, and the first lady that took care of us, she was kind of new. Everybody in the ER was like 80% new, and then 3 or 4 people that were veterans and they knew what they were doing. The other ones was like following orders. At least that's what I saw.
So basically, before they did all of that, right? They did the swab.
Yeah.
So the swab, when they did it, they test for the flu and for COVID.
All together.
So
yeah, all
viruses. So then when the lady came back, the doctor, and she told Jean that the baby tested positive for COVID. So meanwhile, I'm on FaceTime the whole time with Jean, and when I heard COVID positive, I was like, fuck. Excuse my French. But I was like, damn, like, did I give Emma coronavirus? Like,
coronavirus?
Because I also, like, breastfeed her, and then also I'm like, obviously, like, you know, you get the Tdap vaccine so you could kiss your baby and all this stuff. So I'm like, damn, like, did I give it to her because I haven't been feeling well? And then that's when they started doing like the blood thing, right, baby?
Yeah, they did the blood thing, and where the issue comes, what's he doing? When the issue comes, is when they try to do this thing and take out the blood. She was crying so much because her veins are so small. She was crying so much because her veins so small, and that was like, it was crucial. Like they punched like they holes in her skin, like what, with the needle, like 4 or 5 times, like one in her foot, like it was so bad. They even put a scanner that with the red light you can see like your veins inside. So that was like, oh my god.
So like meanwhile I'm on FaceTime and I'm like bawling out crying because I'm like, she's so little, like she doesn't even have vaccines. Like,
yeah, I
what?
even have like my eyes watered, like I was
yeah, like I could not go through that. Like I could not see that.
So that when that happened, I'm like telling the doctor, I don't want to stay here. I want to take my baby back home, whatever. So he's like talking to me like they need to do a test to make sure the bacteria, like, because she has this virus, or she can be creating bacteria in her body, which can be only tested by taking out some liquid from her spine, and the procedure takes up to half an hour.
So it's really similar to like the epidural. So if you don't know what the epidural is, they put like a needle in your spine at like the bottom of your spine. So it's really similar, but they take out liquid from the inside of her to make sure that this bacteria isn't harming like her brain or anything.
So they already did the test, but they have to do like grow her bacteria, her DNA, like to see if it can grow to a specific bacteria. So when they do that,
come on, yeah.
So when they do that, we discussed between us like what. Well, they did the procedure. Okay. All right, Emma is doing her own thing today. She wasn't like that for like 4 or 5 hours, but after they did the procedure, and while they did the procedure, me and Victoria would just discuss like if this is mandatory, what we're gonna do. So, me personally, inside of me, I wanted her to stay and doing what we want, but at the same time, it's like you're doing all of these things and you know that the baby is healthy, the baby was born healthy. Like, what is the necessary, or like what's the need of doing all of this if you see no signs of bacteria? But I believe in science, and I think a lot of the diseases you cannot see them. Right. It just come out when it's already like really bad. Emma is fighting you already. She's like, I'm starving. So After that, we go into a bigger space, like after the procedure. Because during the procedure, they took us to like a room. It wasn't like this one. It was more small, and it was in the yard. It had a bathroom, everything. So they took me there, and I was like, babe, after the procedure, you can come in and stay with her until we get the room, and then when we get the room, we can switch or whatever. So the room, we have like a nurse. She was great. Uh, we were there, so we got here around 4 a.m. guys. After we got okay, Emma, you wanna tell the story? Yeah, she wanna tell the story. All right, so we were in the new room where they did the procedure for like we got here like around 3:30, almost 4. So we got here almost 4. It was already like 12:30. They did the little procedure to take the liquid out of her spine. And during that time, like I was just in that little space. Like that was like a very crazy time. The craziest time came after when we went to that room from 1 p.m.
to 7:45.
to 7:45 that we got here. And there I experienced a lot of kids crying and I guess coughing. Like we experienced like what is really going on with COVID and all of that
And I was
bacteria
just scared
stuff.
because I'm like, she's so small. Like, she's around all these kids. And, like, even if we had, like, a separate room, but, like, the nurses that were, Emma's nurse was also a nurse for, other kids, too. So it's scary.
So we were, like, super
anxious.
And we were like, oh, my God, like, until one time. Imagine yourself no sleep and being in the hospital for, like, 3 a.m. Being outside since 2 because we left our home at 2. Like, we didn't leave our home at 4. Like, we were out on the streets going to the hospital since 2. And it's 7 p.m. and you haven't sleep and your baby's sick. The most important thing is not even the sleep, it's the baby that is sick and you don't know what's going on. So they told us, like, oh, she has to stay. We recommend that. Me and Victoria would say, yeah. So we were like, okay, give us a room. And when we got to the room, it's just better. Like the environment totally changed. Baby was doing better. She was laughing at the end of the night. They give her Tylenol and they give her like antibiotics just in case she has like a bacteria growing or like she's have a bacteria herself.
And then she also has an IV, and that's just like fluids. And they just want to make sure that she does so she doesn't get dehydrated.
And she dropped. During this process, like through the day, the half an hour when they did the procedure, taking out the liquid of the spine, I forgot the name of it. What you remember?
It starts with an M.
But the something. But that procedure, they do it, I guess, to every kid that gets sick or got fever before the 2 month or 3 month, I don't know what it is. But if you have a little one, take care of that little one and try to not go out there because I believe a lot of for us, like we are a very social person and I'm not the type of person that call out somebody and be like, oh bro, like you came from outside with a teacher or like I don't know, like I'm not trying to act like I'm cleaner than anybody, but a lot of people are dirty and they might be like rushing or like rubbing themselves in some other person that they didn't even know if that person was working or was like dirty or sweaty or whatever. And they come to my house and say hi to me and I'm having my baby. Right. Or not even like, how can I say? Not it's even come to my house. It's like people in my mom's house. Or like people in my, I don't know, like in the street I see people with the baby. Oh, how you doing? Want to touch? Like, what are you talking about with us? So, moving forward, like in my next baby, like I'm for 2 months, like I'm gonna be super strict. If we're still gonna have COVID. COVID's not gonna disappear. But if we are still in a pandemic, that I think this pandemic is gonna last probably like 10 years, to like reduce and we can get this over with. We're in the process of doing it because look how we are. She was diagnosed with COVID. They didn't ask us like, were you vaccinated or are you just a positive too? So that's how you know like people getting over this and the system already getting over this. Like they're just gonna be like one day, that's like the flu. But and yeah, in this process I learned that to take care of the little one, and because at the end of the day, the parent's gonna be the one taking care of.
Right.
And you cry. Tell me, I'm not a person that be crying. I mean, I cried. I was crying in the wedding, but crying. Like I was feeling like, damn, like I cannot do nothing
Like
for this.
that's what kills you the most is the fact that like your baby is sick and you can't do anything. Like it's literally all up to the nurses and the doctors, and it's on their time.
And when she has fever, like they give her Tylenol, in the morning, and then through the day we were like, oh, let me get the nurse. We used to tell the nurse like, oh, give me the Tylenol. She was out for like 2 hours, an hour and a half. We were like, oh my god. And you get so angry, but at the same time it's like they understaff. They not paying good. Companies, hospital, like if you work in places and you don't have your own business, you know what's going on.
I think she was a fever.
There's a fever.
Basically, it's like they were on their own time, so you have to wait. And there were so many kids there. Like I've never seen so many kids in an ER together. Like so sick. It was just so packed, and like not enough workers. Like now I understand all those posts that go out there on social media about how the hospitals are so understaffed, and it's true. Like all these doctors aren't like doctors yet. Like they're like residents or like I don't even know. But a lot of them, they need to be with like someone that's higher up. And then the higher ups, there's not as much, like Jean said. So it was just so chaotic. It was a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, just this is like a sad video, but we wanted to just tell you guys and make sure in the future or right now. I just want to give a shout out to this one that is crying, that she is doing great.
She's a level 2.
It's still milk there?
Yeah.
Look, she just fell asleep. You see? Yeah. So she's a trooper, her baby said. And she was just, crying because people were holding her. I think like pain wise, she was at home, and that's how she was like, oh, something bothered me. Like now she's just like, what's going on? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó, mi amor? ¿Qué pasó? Emma for president.
2024.
Yeah, and we do another one when we're home and
with like
everything is
updates and stuff.
Yeah. So hope you guys like, enjoy, and how we always say, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Bye, hasta la vista, peace and love.